Hey there, welcome to day 18 of our Get Up and Go Challenge. We're going to talk about the O in soap today and what it has to do with and how it builds upon what we talked about yesterday, our situation, the story we tell ourselves about where we are now versus where we want to go, our current situation versus our desired situation. So I call that, how do we get from C to D? Well, the O is all about the options, the alternatives, the ideas, the possibilities. Remember, we talked earlier in this about it, that life has really got infinite possibilities. And so often we box ourselves in and we think and we believe that there's only one or two things that we could possibly do. And so the O in soap is all about expanding and opening up to the possibilities. So today, our tool, our question is, what else is possible? It's one of my favorite questions. Probably over the last decade for sure, it's become one of my go-to ways of looking at situations and opening myself up to what could be possible. Not what I believe. We talked about brainstorming last time we went through the soap, the first time we went through the soap framework, and we talked about how critical it is to brainstorm without evaluating any of the things that you come up with. Well, today we're going to take a little bit more pragmatic approach, and it depends on how much time you have and what the situation is and how quickly you need to or want to respond will determine what tool you use to work yourself through the SOAP framework. There's a lot of situations, a lot of challenges that come up in my life that I just automatically go through the SOAP framework and come up with a solution and take action right away because it's ingrained in my subconscious. I just automatically go through these steps. What's this current situation? What do I want it to be? What are the possible options? What could I do? What of all the possible things that could happen in the universe, what could I do? And then move on to the rest of the SOAP framework. And it happens in almost an instant, definitely in under a minute. And I decide, like the 1 minute manager, what I'm going to do next. So let's break the O down a little bit more. I am doing financial. So yesterday I thought about, well, what's my story? What's my current story? And there's something that I want to do in my business and to help my life that I figure will cost me $3,000 a month. Now, or the expense associated with that is going to be $3,000 a month. Now, I want to have that $3,000 a month not come out of my current income. I want to create a new stream of income that will cover the cost of this expense. Whenever I want to do something, or if I want to go on a trip, if I want to do something, if I want to buy something, I try to figure out a way to cover the cost of it through the acquisition of it, if that makes sense. So I try to find a way to pay for the new things that I want, not think that I have to save up money and then get it, right? It's pretty hard to save up $3,000 a month to expend on something. So instead of, my current story is I don't have it, I want this particular help in this area. So it's going to cost me $3,000 a month. So my future situation is I easily and effortlessly have that $3,000 a month without even thinking about it because I've created another stream of income that will automatically add that to my life. I hope that makes sense. So my situation is coming into the O. The options I want to consider are, how can I possibly bring in $3,000 a month? How can I add $3,000 a month to my income so that I can expense it on this area that I want without feeling any pain or any change? Maybe you're working on your health. So the first thing we need to do is we need to know what is the outcome that we want. And then this is all about, the O is about what else is possible to get me from A to B. Could I go get a job and earn $3,000 a month and pay for this? Yeah, that's possible. But what we're going to do this time is we're just going to list 10 possible things or options that we could do to move us from the C, our current situation, to the D, our desired situation. How are we going to get from C to D? And why I like C to D is we're not saying A to Z. How do we get from where we are to the ultimate place we want to be? We just want to know, how do we get to the next thing we want? So maybe as I'm thinking of not brainstorming, but as I'm listing out my 10 things, I figure out a way to make easily, no-brainer, $2K a month. And then I have to add on to that. So I do that. That gets me from C to D. Doesn't get me all the way to D, but it gets me closer than if I didn't do anything. So I want to list 10 things. We're just going to list 10 things today that we could possibly do to get us from our current situation, where we are right now, our current story, to or closer to our desired story, if not all the way there. Now me, I want 3K a month. That's not my obviously long-term massive goal or objective for my life. It's just, what do I want for the next step? What do I want for right now to make this thing happen? So maybe you're doing physical. Maybe you want to lose 20 pounds. So you list 10 things that you could possibly do by asking yourself, well, what else is possible? What else haven't I tried? What else could I try? What have I tried in the past that worked for me, but I stopped doing it for whatever reason? A lot of times, especially with weight loss and things, we'll lose weight for a special occasion, and we'll change our habits, and we'll do really, I don't know, maybe just women do this. We'll fit into that outfit, we'll fit into that dress, and then after the event, we go back to our old habits, and we put that 10 or 20 pounds back on that we lost for that particular event. It's called yo-yo dieting. Anyone ever done it besides me? Probably millions of people, right? So that would work for in the area of if you're working on, remember we've got our key areas of our life: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, and contribution. That would be an example of physical. I could do physical all day long. I could think of examples. Drink more water. You say you want to drink 8 glasses of water a day. Try to make it specific. Like I picked $3,000 a month on purpose. I didn't say I want to make more money in the month. I didn't say I want to lose weight this month. I didn't say I want to be more active. I said I will exercise 5 times a day, or 5 times a day. That's ridiculous. 5 times a week for the next week. And I set smaller things like that, but you need to be a little specific. So say you want to, in the area of emotions, you want to reduce stress or reduce don't worry, fear, or any other emotion that you might be feeling that you don't want to experience. How are you going to know? How are you going to measure that? How are you going to know if you have reduced stress? Or if you say, I want increased peace of mind, how do you know? You have to have a way for you, not me or anyone else, a way for you to know and measure whether you've achieved that and are moving in the direction of that or not. Especially in the areas of spiritual, emotional, and mental. Those are difficult areas to measure, right? Physical is easy to measure. Financial is easy to measure. Relationships kind of are easier to measure, but they're a challenge too. And contribution is pretty easy to measure. If I'm going to contribute, say I'm going to donate 5 hours a week to my favorite charity, that would be an easy one and a great one. Plus, either you did it or you didn't. But in spiritual, mental, and emotional, those are a little bit more challenging. Say you're going to, in spirituality, affirm or reaffirm or increase your relationship with your higher power. However you define that, you know, is God, is it Allah, is it Buddha? I don't know what it is. It's different for everybody. But your higher power, how are you going to do that? Well, how are you going to measure that? That's the one is like, okay, well, how do I know? Either maybe you do a ceremony or something. I'm going to perform this ceremony. Maybe I'm going to do this ritual. Maybe I'm going to participate in this activity. Or maybe I'm going to join a Bible study group. That's concrete. Either you join the Bible study group, or you didn't. Same with relationships. Relationships, you know, say you want to increase or get better communication with your parents or your kids or whatever. How are you going to know that you've done that? Hey, I'm going to phone my mom once a week. That would be a good one for me. I'm going to phone my mom once a week or something, but be specific. So either you know you did it or you didn't. But ask yourself, what else is possible? What else could I possibly do to increase communication with my parent or child? What else could I do to remove limiting beliefs and mental blocks and things that I think are holding me back? And then how are you going to know if you've done that or not? You know, maybe I'm going to come up with a letting go strategy for my mental limiting belief, but pick a specific limiting belief that you want to remove and work on, and then know, how are you going to know if that is done for you or not? That's the whole point of my pontificating on this subject. How are you going to know? Again, I don't need to know, but you need to know if you're making progress, if you're getting from C to D, where you are to where you want to go, or moving toward where you want to go. So, this was not too confusing. Here's our assignment for today. We're talking about the O in SOAP, right? O in SOAP stands for options. So, you can brainstorm. I say this time, let's just list 10 so it doesn't have to be as big an endeavor as brainstorming, because sometimes we're just going to come up with 4 options in our head and we're going to pick one and go and take action on it. Other times, we have the time to list out 10 possible things that we could do, 10 possible options, 10 alternatives, 10 ways of dealing with getting from where we are to where we want to go. Again, I'm going to do financial. I'm going to list out 10 possible ways to make $3K a month so that I can pay for what I want. And I've actually set myself up a little worksheet already for day 18 and 10 things. What 10 things? I'm going to list 10 ways. And I just said, oh, I didn't write it down, but I said, what I want is blank. And then just 10 possible ways. Answer the question, what else is possible? What else could be possible? Because I might say I'm going to be gifted $3,000 in someone's will. Well, I guess that's far out possible, but it's probably very improbable, right? It could be possible. Maybe somebody I don't know, some distant relative, is going to pass away and give me the amount that works out to $3,000 a month indefinitely. I don't know. But we want to list 10 possible ways to get from our current situation to our desired situation, or at least move us to the next step in that process. Remember, we're always thinking about what's next, what's the next step, what's the next step, what else is possible. Notice I'm sharing questions that we can ask ourselves to be our own guru and keep us moving forward and making progress in our lives and in all the areas and aspects of our life, not just one. I'm not sharing just, hey, here's what you need to do to lose weight or be physically healthy. Here's what you need to do to make money. Because I think it's more powerful if we have the framework and we can apply that to our own lives in the own way that works best for us. All right, have an awesome day. Any questions? Hit me up in the comments below. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow for day 19 of our Get Up and Go challenge. We're going to get up and go, talk about the A in soap. Take care, have an awesome day, and I will be with you tomorrow. Bye.